Two Rivers Skate Park in Nashville, Tennessee is at the intersection of the Cumberland and Stones Rivers. Go west on 40 till you get to 155 North, that's the Bradley Parkway, and take that up to the Two Rivers Parkway. You're going to take a right off that thing and follow it around. You're going to see a couple of signs telling you where it is. Oh, that's what they look like, and you're at the park. They got bathrooms there. They even let you use water fountains down there in Nashville. They don't want you to use the park when it's wet, though. And the water has done some serious damage to this park. I couldn't tell you where to get a beer around here because there ain't nothing within a stone's throw of this park. If you take a look at the texture of this thing, it is very unique. It's not something you see in the western part of the United States. The ground here is about as rough as you can get. Some spots down inside of the bowls, it is straight up terrible. But this is a very fun park, and especially if you're down there in the southeast, it's a good time. The people here are super cool. There was some trans gal who told me about another park in the area that I hadn't looked up. I hadn't seen it on the internet or nothing, and it was awesome. So, shout out to Homegirl. This park has a real back-to-nature feel to it. It's right in the middle of a golf course. You got guys like this running around. But it is a terribly weathered park. The thing's probably 15, 20 years old. And the water damage in parts of it are horrendous. Down right there inside of that bowl, there's some concrete that's so pitted, you lose so much speed cruising over it. Now the coping in here is great. A lot of parks, the coping is all bombed out and depleted because everybody's getting up on it, but I don't think too many people are getting rad down here in Tennessee. So even after 15 or 20 years, however old this park is, you're still getting freshies. It's very cool. Now the weathering on here reminds me of the Sphinx. They talk about the Sphinx being so water damaged, there would have had to have been torrential floods to do it. There haven't been floods like that in Egypt in 40,000 years or something. They also say that at that time the Sphinx would have been lined up perfectly with the constellation Leo. Look at that big old cat. Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? You know what doesn't make sense to me is this guy blowing up that building over there in Nashville. That happened right when I got into town. That was some wild stuff. Now, I don't want to call false flag, but I don't want to not call it either. And as a fan of Charles Fort, I think we all know there's not any such thing as a coincidence. And it won't be a coincidence if you leave this park with a little bit of your dermis on the surface. Well, you'll be glad you came, even if you lose some skin in the game. We'll see you next week.